Alright, welcome to Five Lakes Garage. Today we're going to do a quick run around in my 2019 Toyota Tacoma off-road package. Bought this almost brand new. It was secondhand, but it was less than a year old. And after driving it, I understand why it was less than a year old and somebody got rid of it already. This video is going to be titled, Why Toyota? Now here's a quick history of my loyalty with Toyota. My very first car was a little Honda Accord. Okay, drove that around a little bit, but then my first Toyota was a 1985 Toyota Celica. Before that, my father had a 87 4Runner. He loved that thing. It had almost 400,000 miles on it, and the only reason why he got rid of it, well, that 22RE was tired and didn't have a lot of compression. No compression means no power. And he tried to tow a few things and it just did not have enough oomph. But that's fine. But it lasted forever. Never had it hardly do anything to it. 85 Celica. Beautiful car. Loved it. Rear wheel drive, 5-speed. Oh, it's beautiful. Once I got rid of the the Celica, and the reason why I got rid of that one is because I could not keep rear ends in it. I blasted through so many ring and pinions, it was ridiculous. Luckily for me, Toyota does have a third member. You pull that out, I go to a junkyard, find another one, slap it in, good to go again for a little bit, until I blow that one out. Rear wheel drive, 5-speed, young kid, yeah, rear ends are not gonna hold together. So got rid of that, got a 97 Nissan Sentra. Wow, what a piece of garbage. That was my first automatic vehicle, and I hated it so bad. I barely had that one for a year. Got rid of that, went ahead and got a 5-speed SR5 with leather 4Runner 2000, had 4 miles on it. Loved that thing. It did not have a lot of power, it did not have a lot of torque, but it was enough. I towed the boat with it, I towed trailers, you name it, took it off-road. It was fantastic, loved it. Then I got married. My wife had a 2001 Corolla. Well, I worked 40 miles away from the house, she worked 8. So if you do the math, the Corolla is a lot better value for fuel economy. So I took the Corolla, she was gonna take the 4Runner. The only problem was 4Runner was a manual transmission. My wife, she tried, she was actually pretty decent with it. Of driving the manual, she wasn't used to it, but it was something we were gonna do. So she goes up there and sure enough, rips out the ring and pinion. Now granted, I probably strained it a little bit, but took out the ring and pinion. Finally got that fixed. All right, and then 5th gear, I think it was because I was towing so much with it on the open highway. 5th gear, it just started whining a little bit. So there was a bearing that was a recall on that year that didn't have proper oiling, and I think it was going out again. So anyway, got rid of that, got an Envoy, piece of garbage. Hated that thing. But anyway, long story short, a lot of years of having Toyotas. Loved them. So when I got rid of my 545 BMW, which I love that one, by the way. Well, let me phrase that. I love driving it. Fixing it every darn weekend and shelling out hundreds and hundreds of dollars in parts that most of them had to be shipped in from Hungary or Germany or wherever. When the 3rd major system went out on that thing, so it was the stability control went out, active steering went out, it was a speed sensor. I replaced all of them, and it still kept coming up with errors, so it had to be a wiring issue. You know, once that 3rd system went out, I'm like, all right, I'm done. I went into the garage, I grabbed a hold of my shop towels, balled it up, and threw it on the hood. I was done with it. So then I go out and I buy this, thinking, all right, it's a Toyota. Now my options are very limited because I wanted a manual transmission. Actually, my options were very limited because I wanted a manual transmission. So I went out there and went ahead and picked it up. I test drove one. It was like, I mean, it's, was like, okay, well, coming from a 545, you know, V8, plenty of power. I understood it wasn't gonna be the same thing. Okay, granted, fine. Go ahead and pick this up. Now I've been driving this for the last few months, and I would have to say I absolutely hate it. Let me go through a couple of the issues that we have with it. And that's why I was gonna name this video Why Toyota? Okay, 3.5 liter engine. Okay, straight six, V6. Okay, you know, they rate at 275 horse. Yeah, you got to tack it all the way out to almost $6,000 to get that. This engine actually came out of a Lexus hybrid. Now, I don't even think they reprogrammed it or tuned it or anything, because if you look at the torque curve on this thing, there's like nothing. Oh, look, there you go. It's almost like somebody from Honda from the 90s started working at Toyota, and it was like, oh, you know, VTEC is a great thing. No, not in a truck. Come on. If you look at the stock dyno numbers for rear wheel horsepower, it's like at, what, 70 or 80 horsepower, 2,500 RPM. In a truck, that you should be maxed out on torque. You want it for towing. You want it for all this other stuff. This thing has a 6,500 pound towing capacity. I towed my buddy's pontoon boat when we were back in Hertford a couple weeks ago. Just to put it around the yard, I had to go into 4 low, which is another problem I'm gonna get into. Had to go into 4 low just to put that thing around, because I had to slip the clutch so bad. So I wouldn't tear up his yard. I tried to go to 4 high, still had to slip the clutch. After smelling the clutch for a little bit, I'm like, all right, this is ridiculous, go to 4 low. But I should not have to do that for a small, that might be like a 16 or maybe an 18-foot pontoon boat. Ridiculous. So, you know, engine issues there. No power on the bottom end. Another problem with this engine, the thing is loud. Not the exhaust note, but just the running of the engine, I believe, is louder than a V8. Inside the cabin, I can still hear it, but it's not that awful bad. Actually, let me see if I can rev it out a little bit, and you'll feel, ready, up, 38, up, there's 1 punch, up, 6,000, yep. No power, absolutely none, absolutely ridiculous. So, other issues, 4 low, this is the off-road package, it's supposed to have, you know, 4 low range. In order for this to actually go in reliably, because it's all electronic now, I have to turn the truck off. It'll go to 4 high, fine. To go to 4 low, I'll put it in 4 low, turn off the engine, turn it back on, it will go into 4 low. You will sit there, forward, backward, stop, forever before that 4 low will actually be engaged. Absolutely ridiculous. Why, Toyota? I do not understand that. Okay, fine, I'll get around that. I'll shut the car off. I don't go on a 4 load that often. Okay. Another issue, 4-wheel drive package. One of the reasons why you get the 4-wheel drive package is for skid plates. Front skid plate. On the front, underneath the engine, protecting the oil pan. It is about the size, this thickness of like a couple sheets of tin foil. It is ridiculous. I got some pictures, I'll put it up here. Skid plate for the fuel tank. A plastic fuel tank has a plastic skid plate. Why? Also, off-road package. You would think you're going off-road. Okay. Why is it that the lowest point of this truck is the exhaust? And not a straight shot to where if you hit it on an obstacle or a rock or whatever, it's gonna slide down it? No. It comes down below the cross member and then cuts across and then joins with the other side. So if you hit that on a rock, you're not only going to tear your exhaust system out, you can actually cause some serious engine damage, because that header is going to get ripped off as well. Why? Why would you do that? Do you not have rocks over in Japan? I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. Also, a couple other issues. The bed. It is a composite bed, which, okay, it doesn't dent so bad, it doesn't rust and stuff like that, but it's not sealed. I have a tonneau cover on there right now that I just put on, and I love the tonneau cover, pretty good. But I'm like, why am I still getting water in here? So I climbed underneath. I had somebody close the tailgate, and I'm looking around. There's gaps everywhere, and it's not from the tonneau cover, it's from the bed. So I can't put that cover on and seal it up so that, you know, it'll stay dry. You can't do that. You can't put anything in the back that you want to keep dry, even with the cover on. Okay, we can get around that, I guess. What else here? Oh, the gas pedal. There's a 1.5 second delay between you putting your foot down for it to start revving. Why? Why is that? Now, there are pedal commanders. There's a couple other aftermarket stuff that you can get to help relieve that. You shouldn't have to. Another reason why Toyota. There's also tuners that you can get that'll actually make this engine run like it's supposed to. I should not have to go out there and spend, you know, $700, $800, $900 on top of the price of the truck just to get it to be drivable. It's just ridiculous. What else here? Steering. Steering's kind of numb. Okay. The biggest problem with the steering, it's like four turns lock to lock. If you're down, you know, off-road, you're doing whatever, you're in a parking lot, don't be in a hurry, because you're gonna have to turn this wheel a bunch of times just to be able to get into a parking spot. Absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, I get a little bit emotional about this because I don't understand why you would spend this much money on a truck when you can't stand driving it. Why would the designers of this thing do some of the things that they did? I don't understand it. But I have some plans for it. I was gonna trade it in, get something else, but I did fall in love with the utility of having a bed in the back. Going camping, I love going camping. Yes, I can bring my Dodge. I have a 97 Dodge 2500 Ram with a 12 valve diesel. Love it for towing. Driving it, it's a 3/4 ton. It drives like a brick. It's got plenty of power, which is fine. Air conditioning doesn't work. Cruise control doesn't work. The dashboard, if anybody knows anything about 90s Dodges, yeah, every day I'll pull pieces off and throw it away. But anyway, but yes, I could drive that when I go camping. But it's not very comfortable driving, you know, 4 or 5 hours listening to turbo whine and listening to the really loud diesel. I have some other plans for that. That'll be in a later video. But so anyway, so I love the utility, but they don't make any other trucks with the manual anymore. It's like Toyota has like cornered the market for manuals. Everybody wants automatics. Why? Why do you want an automatic? Biggest problem with automatics that I see is that this thing, an automatic never knows what gear to be in. Now, granted, there are some out there that are a lot more intelligent. I have not found them yet, but you know, when you stomp on the gas and it will change gears 3 or 4 times before it starts to go. If you're in trouble, you need to pass somebody, you need to put the foot down and go. That's why I like the manual. Stick in a gear and go. Anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry about that. But anyway, this is going to be the why video. So why Toyota? Why? Why is this truck such a piece of garbage? Couple other things they can do. Put a V8 in it. Have that as an option. I know Magnuson actually is starting to make a supercharger for this. Last time I checked, it wasn't quite 100% ready yet, but I think I might actually go out and get the tuner for this. I believe it's OVTUNE's Orange Virus, I think it puts it out. I'm gonna try that out and see if it can actually save this truck, because right now, ridiculous. Oh, one other thing that's really annoying. I like bigger tires. Now, I'm not saying huge tires. I'm not going to go to like 35s, 37s, 40s. No, that's crazy. But I am a product of the 80s. Actually, I grew up in the 80s. So the little Toyota pickup on 33s to me is ideal. You can get around town. You can still tow with it. You can still do all the other stuff and do a little bit off-road. That would be ideal. So I want to put 33s on this. What do you have to do to put 33s on this? One, you can either go really high with it, which it's IFS in the front, so going really high might not be the best route. Okay, so you can trim a little bit. It's not just trimming fenders or trimming a bumper or anything like that. No, you actually have to go in and cut the body mount. Basically cut out a chunk, flip it upside down to give you that clearance, so you can actually turn this thing with 33-inch tires on it. 33s aren't that big. Why? And that's on top of it, like, I think it's like a 3-inch or 4-inch lift. I don't get it. But anyway, this is probably long enough. Just watch out. Always do your research. I thought I did on this one. Apparently I did not. It was rushed by, and I'm regretting it. So stay tuned, hopefully, for another video on when I actually love this truck, when I put a tune on it. Until then, keep working. Later.